An All Progressives Congress governorship aspirant in Ogun State, Modele Sarafa said she was assaulted by the special advisor to the Ogun State governor on political matters while attending a stakeholders meeting called by Governor Dapo Abiodun. In a statement, Sarafa said, she honored the invitation from the governor because she is a member of the APC in Ogun State. She also alleged that her campaign billboards that were properly paid for through a registered agency were destroyed. However, Ogun State Commissioner for Information, Wahid Udushile, said Sarafa was not invited but gate crashed into the meeting and was politely asked to leave. Well, let's cross live to our Lagos studios to speak to Modele Sarafa. Thank you so much for joining us. Quite troubling to hear about the assault that you were exposed to. Tell us exactly what happened. From that introduction, you were said to have gate crashed that meeting. What exactly are the facts?
Thank you, Ngozi. What did you expect the government to say? Did you expect them to say that the special advisor to the governor on political matters verbally assaulted me using F words and, almost physically molesting me, if not for the intervention of the Secretary to the State Government? Did you expect that the commissioner would say that this fellow almost beat me up? No, they're going to say I get crushed. The truth is that it's the usual practice that notices of meetings are passed around via WhatsApp or SMS. And I received one such notice this morning. The messages that jumped out at me where that it was an APC Ogun stakeholders meeting and that we should kindly come with APC membership card. Against the pronouncement of His Excellency Atiku Bagudu's statement that all the states were going to be at liberty to determine the modes of primaries, and with the primaries imminent, I was advised to attend in case that was going to be on the agenda, and especially because no such agenda was shared via the WhatsApp message. So I also know that of all the stakeholders who are present, a decision was likely to be made. That was what we thought regarding our primaries. But no sooner did I enter that then I was accosted by this gentleman, and he was screaming at the top of his lungs and, just generally being obnoxious. I realized very quickly that things might get out of hand. I did not utter a word. I did not reply him. I just took the closest seat to me. But luckily, the Secretary to the State Government heard him shouting, and even all of the people in the hall were shell-shocked and just looking at us and wondering what's going on. But the Secretary to the State Government stepped in and stopped him from doing any harm. I was thereafter advised by my security team to leave the meeting, which I did. And someone sent me a video of what transpired later, and I saw how lucky I was to get away as I did. Ngezi, what bothers me really is the fact that this is the second incident in a week. As you mentioned in your intro, billboards were taken down by agents of the government, as we were told, and efforts to put them back up by the outdoor agency that we hired were rebuffed, and they were so bullied and threatened that we were offered a refund of the money that we were paid. For me, I didn't suffer any physical harm, thankfully. I was very flustered by the ferocity of the hatred this gentleman was spewing, And please note that this is the special advisor to the governor on political matters. And this is the kind of, I was worried that this is the kind of advice that he will be giving the governor, and these are the kind of people that he surrounds himself with. I mean, a man would just accost you in a public place and, say things like the F word at a woman. For me, as I said, it is the fact that these things are gradually getting out of hand in Ogun State, and we've only just started. The electioneering hasn't really started. The elections are not here yet.
Yes. Because of the time limit we have, we hear you. But we'll also be extending an invitation to the chairman of the APC in Ogun State, Yemi Sanusi, to also come tell his own side of the story. But I would like to ask you, and I really want as brief as you can so that we can cover a lot. Were you the only one asked to leave this meeting? And why do you think that the government will have an attack, a personal attack on you?
What was the first question? Was I the only one that was asked to leave the meeting?
Yes.
Well, I was the only one that was accosted. I was at my security team advised me to leave immediately because the man was really being obnoxious and rude. So I don't know, another aspirant that was on his way, I mentioned my experience to him, and he just didn't bother to show up. The thing is, the lines between the government and the party is getting more and more blurred in Ogun State. There's a lot of intolerance. There's a lot of we don't even know what's going on with especially the primaries. I attended that meeting because I thought the primaries were going to be discussed, because as I said, it was decided by the hierarchy of the party that the modes of primaries should be determined by everybody. And if that kind of decision was taken and I wasn't there, I would have been bound by it as a party, as a loyal party person. So I wanted to be there to be part of the decision-making process, but clearly I wasn't wanted there, and I left, which isn't a problem. As I said, the problem for me is the tone that's already been set, and the fact that we're discouraging more women. I don't know how many women called me after that meeting. Before I even said anything, the news had gone round, and I was receiving calls from women groups and saying, we heard this is what happened. Is this how we're going to do it? Shouldn't you just back off? And I'm like, okay, we're trying to encourage more women to come into politics, and this is happening and scaring people off. I know that one of the things that frightens women is the fear of violence. Apart from, people say cash, but it's not money. It's not only money. It is the fear of violence, the fear of failure. It is the fear of attracting unwanted attention to oneself. It's the fear of being judged and not being liked. But we thought that if we're able to run a decent race and campaign properly and hopefully win the elections, it will encourage more women to come on board. But if someone is being verbally assaulted and almost physically assaulted, of course, many people would stay away.
Modele Sarafa Yusuf, we hope this incident does not discourage you and other women like yourself. Of course, we know you're gunning for the governorship of Ogun State. Wish you all the very best. Of course, we'll be reaching out to Wahid Odushile, who's the Commissioner for Information Ogun State, to hear their own side of all of this development and make it a balanced situation here.